Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a product review. We're going to be reviewing this Bike Seal Auto Seal. I can guarantee you want to hang around for this review. It's one of the best products I've come across in years. But before we do, you've guessed it, roll the credits. Okay, so Bike Seal, what is it? Well, there are a number of products out there that do sort of the same job. You get some that are like tyre mousses. You put them into the tyre, it sets as a mousse, prevents punctures. However, the problem with the mousses is that they do reduce the performance of the tyre, and they do degrade over time. There are tyre welds which you apply after you've actually had the puncture. The problem with those is you still have the blowout and you're at risk of coming off your bike. Two, you can't use a tyre weld in tube tyres, they're only for tubeless tyres. Also, they reduce the performance of the tyre. You can't ride your bike fast or up to the maximum rating of your tyre. You have to limp home. Once you get home, you have to have the tyre removed, and I think you have to have the tyre replaced, because I don't think that you're supposed to repair tyres after using a tyre weld product. This is slightly different. You put this in. This will seal a puncture as it happens. It does it almost instantaneously. I think they say that you may experience a loss in pressure from 1 to 3 psi, which isn't a great deal. It will seal holes up to 15 mil, which is quite a big diameter when you think about it. And the best thing about this is, even after you've had the puncture, you can still ride the bike to its rated performance. So if your tyres are rated 120 mile an hour, after a puncture with this in, you can still ride the bike at 120 mile an hour. Once you get home, there's no need to replace the tyre. You just carry on as normal. You obviously just increase the pressure, whatever you've lost, 1 psi, 2 psi, 3 psi. It doesn't matter whether you've had 1 puncture, 2 punctures, 3 punctures. You just carry on as normal, and you just use the tyre until it gets to the end of its life, as you would a normal tyre with no punctures. What's in the box? This is the 550ml bottle. This is normally all you need to do one motorbike of any size, really. It's like an oil canister. You pull it up, you've got the tube. Basically what you do is you deflate the tyre, take out the valve, pop this on, put in 250ml. There's a measurement thing on the side so you can see how much you're putting on. Put the valve back in, inflate the tyre, you're good to go. Real easy. I do suggest that you buy the motorbike applicator, especially if you've got the 90-degree shaped valves, because you can get blockages as you're squeezing this in, because it is quite thick and gloopy. And basically what that is, I don't have it on me at the moment, it is it's like a great big 50ml syringe that fits onto this. You draw up the fluid and you squirt it in under pressure, and that can clear the blockages. It's well worth doing. You only have to buy one. You know, if you've got a collection of bikes, say 3 or 4 bikes, yeah, you buy 3 or 4 bottles, but you only buy one motorcycle applicator. You also get this little thing, a little device for removing the valve out of the valve stem. It's so easy to do, it's unbelievable, and it saves you loads and loads of money. Also mentioned that this is non-corrosive. You can leave this in your tyres over winter. It doesn't react with rubber, it won't react with the tyre, it won't react with the metal of your rims, it won't corrode your rims in any way. It's completely inert. How does it work? Basically, it's a solution with Kevlar fibres in. And what happens is, when you get a puncture and it makes a hole in the wall of the inner tube or the tyre and the air is forced out, it also forces out the strands of Kevlar. They're like little strands of cotton, and they clump together in the hole, sealing it almost instantaneously. Sometimes you can actually see the ends of the fibres sticking out like fine pieces of cotton. These just shear off and get scrubbed off as the tyre continues to rotate. It doesn't set as a mousse, it remains fluid, so when your bike's at a standstill it is pooled at the bottom of the tyre. So if you're doing your tyre pressures, always rotate the tyre so the valve isn't at the bottom, otherwise you're going to block your valve up with the strands. As the tyre spins round at speed, the fluid that's collected at the bottom will actually spin around inside the tyre and coat the tyre, and that's why it works when you're actually driving. Other than that, I will now show you how to put this into the tyre. Okay, here we are, as if by magic. Okay, so we need very little tools, very little resources to do this. Much easier if you've got a centre stand, obviously. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that when you put in the solution into the tyres that your valves are either at the 5 or 7 o'clock position. Don't have them vertically at the bottom. Okay, all we've got, this is the applicator that I mentioned earlier, basically just a big syringe. This fits onto the tube, and when we pull this cap off you can screw that in, draw up fluid, and then use that under pressure to clear any blockages that you need to get. Very good if you've got the 90-degree elbow valve stems. Again, this is the tool. This will help me deflate the tyre. Once the tyre is deflated, I'm going to remove the valve stem with that, and then after, you need some form of air pump to pump up the tyres. I use this one, very good piece of kit. You can keep this in your top box when you go out on rides, on touring. Brilliant piece of kit, battery operated. And I'll be inflating these back up to 36 psi, which is what is rated for these tyres. Also, a good thing to have, a little straw like you get on the WD-40 spray cans. If you do get a blockage, you can poke that inside the valve stem and try and clear it that way. And then also a rag or some garage paper towel, because it does get messy, it is gloopy, it does run over the edge of the valve stem. So I will give you a close-up of what I'm going to do to deflate the tyre. Okay, next we're going to get a bottle. We're going to pull the top up, we're going to remove the top, and then the yellow part of the applicator we're just going to twist in until it's flush, and now that is ready to go onto the valve stem, and then we'll invert the bottle and start filling up. Okay, I can't remember whether I mentioned on the intro, this isn't just for motorbike tyres, this is also for cars and 4x4s. Depending on the size, depends on how much fluid you actually have to put into each tyre. For a motorbike, it's about 250 mils front and back. However, you can go on the website, and I will put the link up now. You can go on their website and they have a chart where you can look and find out exactly how much fluid you need to put in for your exact size of tyre. Okay, I've already done the front tyre. I'm now going to do the rear tyre. So as you can see, taking off the cap, I'm going to use the tyre deflator tool, and I'm just going to start deflating the rear tyre. We'll edit past this little bit because it's boring. Okay, that's the tyre deflated. I'm now going to use the pointy end with the slot across. I'm going to pop that into the valve and just keep rotating it round until you feel it fall flat in, and then I'm going to turn anti-clockwise and I'm just going to take out the valve. Notice that the valve is at the 5 or 7 o'clock position, whichever way you're looking at it. You don't want the valve to be at the 6 o'clock. Okay, there you can see valve, take note which way it needs to go back in. Put that somewhere safe. Okay, take note of how much you've got in, because you need to put 250 mil in, so I need to go up to that mark there. Okay, so now all we do is apply the bottle, press, and it goes. Okay, we need to check how much we're putting in. So we were just above the 300 mark, so we need to keep going down. We need to go down until we've got about 50 mil left at the bottom here. We've got a 550 ml bottle and we've got 50 ml left. It means we've put 250 ml in each tyre. As I said, don't worry if there's any overspill. It's not going to mark your rims, it's totally inert. And as you can see now, we're now at the 100 ml mark, so we just need to put another 50 ml in. Keep checking, we don't want to put too much in. So yeah, that's about 50 ml. So all we need to do now just clean off the valve. Get your valve, remember which way that you pulled it out, pop it in. Get your valve removal tool. Screw it in. Finger tight, no more than that. Make sure it's nice and tight, but no more than finger tight. And then all that's left is to inflate the tyre. These tyres go up to 36.5 psi, and that is job done. No more maintenance needed. You can leave that for as long as you want. Just remember, whenever you're blowing your tyres up or doing your tyre pressures, always have the valve at that position at the 7 or 5 o'clock. You don't want it down there because you don't want the solution to be forced up through your valve. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Bike Rider out. This has been an independent review and is not sponsored by Bike Seal.